Hello there. You don't know me. You don't need to. I believe the most intriguing of conversations happen between strangers, don't you? You don't have to say a word, but you have some time on your hands that you want to kill. Would you like to listen to a stranger? I have been thinking too much lately. I know that single statement just scared the life out of you. I know you too are afraid of your own thoughts. Who wouldn't be? Thoughts have a nasty habit of going wrong when you're not looking. I can't imagine anyone who is in control of their own thoughts. I knew a girl once who told me that she cannot keep herself awake at night past 11 because she's too scared of the thoughts that come at midnight. She says she forces herself to slumber. I don't know how that works. How can somebody force themselves into sleep? But I think that is a terrible way to live. I don't have a grudge with my mind. That does not mean I am impervious to fear of losing control or I am immune to conflict. All my sane life, I have lived in conflict with my mind. There's a tug of war going inside my head where nobody's winning, only the rope is getting thin and it's about to snap. After years of pulling back and forth and back and forth, I too decided to run away from it all, to shut my mind and not think. I thought it would make things easier for me. It only ended up making me feel miserable. I learned it late that no matter how much you try to run, no matter how fast you run, you can never outrun yourself. The truth will catch up on you one day or the other, and the longer it takes, the worse it will get. You're not really afraid of thoughts, are you? You're afraid of where they take you, of how they make you feel. You're afraid that if you let them loose, they will go to places that you don't want them to go. Because there are memories, there are scars inside you that never healed, and every time something or someone touches it, it still hurts. It's supposed to hurt. You're human. Those wounds, they mean something to you. If they didn't mean anything, they would have healed a long time ago. There's a quote from Killing Joke, Batman, and I quote, "Memories are treacherous. One moment you're lost in a carnival of delights, the poignant childhood aromas, the flashing neons of puberty. The next, it takes you somewhere you don't want to be, somewhere cold and dark and filled with the ambiguous shapes of things you would rather forget. Memories can be so vile. And that is the Joker for you. That is his whole trick. That is what makes him the most devious villains of all times. He does not have superpowers, he plays with yours. His whole pitch of sale is to turn your own psyche against you, turn you mad, turn your sanity, turn your whole pain and tragedy against you. I think there is a Joker in every one of us. There is someone inside our minds that keeps laughing at you, that looks at you and says you're not worth it, that looks at you and says nothing in the world is worth it, that intends to keep you scared. But take a second to think, who is responsible for these thoughts? Where do these thoughts come from? They can't happen all on their own, right? I mean, there has to be something that triggers them. There has to be someone who triggers them. And believe it or not, more often than not, that trigger is yourself. Your thoughts are a reflection of your state of mind. A state of mind which has been created by you and you alone. You can choose to blame something or somebody else. You can call it fate, you can call it misfortune, you can call it anything you want. You can live in denial for the rest of your life. Or you can choose to forgive yourself. Only then you will realize that all these thoughts, all these vile, repulsive things, they're all just imaginations inside your head. They're all just possibilities or probabilities of what if and what could be. You have to tell your mind every day that you are in control. There's a song from 21 Pilots that says, tie a noose around your mind, loose enough to breathe fine, and tie it to a tree. Tell it, this is not a noose, this is a leash, and I have news for you, that you must obey me. It's easier said than done, I know. You would think that this is never going to work, but do you have another choice? You have tried almost everything. You have tried to force yourself to sleep. You have tried to not think. Tell me then, are you immune now? Does that make you happy to be thoughtless? So, why not try this? Your mind is like any other muscle in your body. It takes practice. Now, you must be thinking, how can this be that simple? It cannot be, right? Mind is a complicated place. It's a maze. It's a labyrinth of things that have no rhyme or reason, mostly. But what if it is? What if the answer is staring at you, right at your face, and you have been looking away in fear and panic? You can't see the real truth. What if you sit down every day for, 10 minutes, and every time your mind wanders off someplace else, starts to think negative thoughts, you force it and you bring it back to the line. Think about one thing and one thing alone. And every time your mind wanders off, you bring it back to the same point of stasis. Now, whatever I just told you might sound absolutely ridiculous to you. There's no rhyme, reason, there's no sense in anything that I said. But for 10 minutes on an evening, I kept you busy. For 10 minutes, you did not think of bad things. You only thought about yourself. You thought about your mind. You thought about thoughts. And that's what's important, isn't it? I hope I kept you entertained. I'll see you next time. Good night.